and leading other people, it is very important that we as leaders become lifelong learners. And being a lifelong learner means that you have challenged yourself over a lifetime. You know, today I'm speaking to all leaders, young ones, old ones, ones that are in the middle of their leadership. All of you. Now, when you're young, you start out with a passion in leadership. You start out with a hunger for some victories and a hunger for some wins, and you can find yourself pushing and learning and growing and moving into leadership with a just a ferocious attitude of I'm going to lead and I'm going to make a difference. But after you set some of those goals and you meet those goals and you become who you wanted to become, and you achieved what you wanted to achieve, it's very easy at that time to relax and get into a rut of leadership, just doing the same thing over and over. You know, where you've got some things in your leadership bag and you can continue to pull from those and use them in different situations, and you can maintain leadership. You can be the leader you wanted to be when you were younger. But the challenge is to recreate yourself and become a leader that you weren't before. You know, you'll reach a place in your leadership where you have to dream again, where it's time to look at yourself and say, okay, what is it that I want to become in the future? Who is it that I want to be in the future? And what is it that I want to accomplish? And in order to do that, you have to be a lifelong learner. And there are certain systems you need to put in place to become a lifelong learner. So I want to encourage you today to put some of those systems in place. One of the first things you need to do is you need to have a reading plan. You need to know where you want to go. First thing you need to do is set some goals, but then put a reading plan in place so you can be a learner. And set some of the books in place that you want to read, some of the topics that you want to learn on, because if you're a learner, then you become a leader. But the minute you quit learning is the minute you quit leading. Because I promise you, if you quit challenging yourself in the learning process, you'll stop leading people, and people will stop following, because you're not challenging them anymore, and you've stopped leading. So I encourage you, get a book plan in place. How many books are you going to read a month? What books are you going to read every month? There needs to be something consistently on leadership, you know, but then there are topics that you want to read on to specialize in your area. So you need to put those in place also. You also need to have in place, what video trainings am I going to watch throughout the month? What am I going to put in place daily that will encourage me to become the leader that I want to become? Then you need to figure out what seminars are in place. What are the things out there that I need to learn about that I don't already know? Or maybe I need to put myself around some new leaders so that they can challenge me in my leadership. Whatever it is, you need to put that in place. You also need to know where you want to go in life. And as you want to go there, you have to continue to attack leadership with just a ferocious attitude of I'm going to lead and I'm going to achieve and I'm going to lead the rest of my life. Now I want to ask you, when you're rocking your grandchildren, you know, I know that's a long way for some of you. Some of you may be in your 20s. You know, that may be 40 years away for you. But when you're sitting there and you're telling them the story of your leadership, do you want to tell them the story of, you know, for the first 10, 15 years of my ministry or my life, I studied hard, I went after what I wanted, and I got in I achieved the career I wanted, I achieved the goals I wanted, and I stayed right there. And I just kept pulling from the old bag of leadership and leading around the same mountain? Or do you want to tell them the story, you know what, I'm still leading, I'm still learning, I'm still making a difference in people's lives. I'm still becoming who God called me to become every day. Which story do you want to tell? Now, if you want to tell the latter story, then you're going to have to put some systems in place to help you become a lifelong learner. Now, I challenge you today to do an exercise, to stop for a few minutes and think about where you want to go in life, what you want to do in life, and what are the things, the systems you need to put in place to get you there. And I promise, no matter how big the task, no matter how great the thing is that you want to do, if you will put the systems in place to learn and to start taking steps in that direction, and you refuse to take no for an answer, you'll get there. Just remember, when you stop learning, you stop leading.